My husband told me he wants to be racist to me in bed to fulfill his fantasies, and all I feel for him now is utter disgust. Posted by you/throwawayegg52. I'm black and my husband is white. Yesterday, he admitted to me that he's recently started to like something called race play, which means he has sexual fantasies about racist situations. To be honest, I still don't know a lot about it, but an example he gave me is that he has a fantasy about being a plantation owner while I'm a slave he keeps as a mistress. I can't stand to look at him anymore because all I feel is disgust. He knows that I've been in relationships where I was objectified in the past, and I know that people can't control their sexual interests, but I can't separate this image of my husband being attracted to racist situations from the man I fell in love with and married. He asked me if I was willing to give it a chance, but I told him I didn't want to, and now he's sleeping in the guest room because we had a fight about me not being supportive. I think this might end my marriage, but I love him and want to work through it somehow. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. White husband to black wife here. A fight because you are not supporting racist great fantasies is the ultimate disrespect and gaslighting. Even if you want to give him another chance, you can't unsee this. I'm so sorry. Commenter 2. Not wanting to do something that you're really uncomfortable with doesn't mean you're not being supportive. So, in his mind, if you were supporting him, you'd just go along with his fantasy even if it's distasteful and disturbing to you? Op's response. Yes, he does want me to go along with it. He thinks that I might like it if I give it a chance, but I don't want to. Op adds an edit to her post. I talked to my husband over lunch. I did what some of you suggested and asked him where he got the idea from and how he started to like it. Most of you were right, he discovered it on a corn site and began watching more corn videos featuring it. He told me it's been about 2 months since he discovered it. Then he asked me again if I would give it a chance for him. When I told him I was uncomfortable with it, he got upset again and asked why I wouldn't support him. He even offered that we could try it once, and then if I didn't like it, we wouldn't have to do it again. But when I said no, he got frustrated, and we started to argue. He reminded me of all the things he has done for me and how much he always supports me, and then called me manipulative. He has now left with a car to go spend time with his friends. I've been crying for the past 15 minutes, and I don't know what else to do. Op adds a second edit to her post. A couple of commenters have asked about it since the first update a couple of hours ago. I'm now trying to see if one of my friends will let me stay with them for a day or two so I can clear my head. I am no contact with most of my family, and the family members I still talk to live several states away, so staying with family is not an option. And my husband owns the house, so I can't change the locks or tell him not to come home. Op adds a third edit to her post. It's currently the middle of the night here. I left our house and am now staying with a good friend. I'll be staying here until this evening. I've been here for a few hours now. I did not see my husband before my friend picked me up, but I left him a voicemail to tell him that I needed space to clear my head. I also did what some of you suggested and said in the voicemail that I felt pressured by him into doing something that I didn't want. He has since heard the voicemail and has called and texted, begging me to come home. He wants to come pick me up from her house in the morning, but I said no. He accused me of abandoning him right before Thanksgiving, and his best friend has also texted me to tell me that I'm a bad wife for treating my husband like this when he pays for everything and supports my lifestyle. To be honest, it made me cry more than what my husband said. I don't think I'll be able to get any sleep tonight after this. This is not part of the update, but I've received a lot of questions through comments and direct messages, so I'll answer a few of them here. I do not know if my husband has a corn addiction. To be honest, I'm not sure how to tell if someone has a corn addiction. I'm 25 and my husband is 33. We've been together for 3 years, almost 4, but we've only been married for 1 year. My husband is the sole earner in our house. I'm a stay-at-home wife and do not have any income. We do not have any children together, but we're planning to start a family next year. I want children, but I'm going to put it on hold until I figure things out, of course. We've done domination in the bedroom before, so this corn did not awaken that kink in him. All of my husband's ex-girlfriends are white. Aside from 2 guys I dated in high school and my husband, all of the men I've dated have been Hispanic or black. Yes, we live in the South, but I do not feel comfortable disclosing what state. Update 1 day later. Hello and happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate. I apologize if this post seems like a ramble, but I've had a very difficult last few days, so my thoughts are a little incoherent. I was pointed in the direction of this subreddit by a user who privately messaged me because she thought I would benefit from it. My husband confessed to having a fetish the other day that I am very uncomfortable with. We had a fight about it, and he accused me of not being supportive because I told him I wouldn't give it a chance. This led to him sleeping in our guest room and more arguments. After consulting with others from a different subreddit, I had a good friend pick me up and take me to her house while he was out with his friends. She offered to let me spend Thanksgiving with her and her family, so I left him a voicemail before I left, telling him where I was and that I would be home after Thanksgiving dinner. Now he won't stop texting and leaving voicemails begging me to come home. He has also accused me of abandoning him on Thanksgiving, even though I'm supposed to cook and host for his immediate family today. To be honest, I'm worried about ruining Thanksgiving. His family loves to celebrate holidays, and Thanksgiving is his mother's favorite. I host and cook for every holiday except for Independence Day and Easter. I know his siblings are not going to care, but it's his parents that I'm worried about. I have a good relationship with them, aside from their nosiness, but they are traditional, and I worry that if I don't come home and host, it will strain our relationship. My husband thinks I'm going to ruin the entire holiday if I refuse to come home since he can't cook, and he thinks it will be cruel of me to let his family come to our home expecting dinner when there will be nothing to eat because of me. Op adds an edit to her post. While I was preparing dinner with my friend, my husband called me. His family has arrived, and his parents aren't happy with his explanation about why I'm not there. He didn't tell them the truth, and I don't know what he said, but apparently, the excuse he gave was not a good one because they blame him for it. His mother has taken over making all the food, and instead of turkey, she will be reheating some leftover chicken for them to eat. Apparently, she scolded him for fighting with me during a holiday that's supposed to be about spending time with family and reflecting on why you love them. He sounded like he was about to cry while talking. He asked me if I was happy that his relationship with his mother and father was ruined because I wanted to be spiteful and hurt him, instead of just putting my feelings aside and spending time with him and his family. He said his friend was right about me being a bad wife because I stooped low enough to embarrass him in front of his family by ghosting them on a holiday. Then he told me he is coming to get me at 7:30 and hung up. To be honest, I feel awful for making him cry. I know I should be happy that his parents are supportive, even if he didn't tell them the real reason, but my husband rarely cries. I feel terrible for hurting him like that. I think I messed up by not going home, but I don't know what to do. Op adds a second edit to her post. Not an update, but please stop suggesting that I go to my family. I am no contact with most of my family, including my parents, for a reason that I do not feel comfortable disclosing. The family members I am in contact with are more distant relatives. And before any of you ask, no, my husband does not have anything to do with why I'm no contact with my parents. I have been no contact with them since before we entered a relationship, and he has never met them. Second update 9 days later. A lot has happened, and I have not been able to come back here until this morning. I'm sorry. After my last post, I did go home with my husband. He locked himself in the bathroom, but he eventually came out. We had a conversation, and I apologized for upsetting him. He also apologized for making me cry. That Friday, he made his friend apologize to me, and he also apologized to me for everything else and said that he wanted to fix things. He bought me a necklace and bracelet during his Black Friday shopping to show how much he loves me. That night, we slept together for the first time since all of this started. It was fine, and nothing strange really happened, but I still felt weird. I decided to just ignore it. I brought up starting therapy to him a few times over the weekend, but he got very upset and defensive whenever I tried to bring it up, so after a few days, I just let it go and decided to try to move on. He took me on a small vacation to a resort in our state this week because he thought that having time away from everything would help us get closer after the unpleasantness. I was happy to get some time away to clear my head and spend time with him so we could make things work, so I agreed. I loved spending time with him. Things were fine until Wednesday night. We went to the beach that day and then saw a movie. When we got back to the resort that night, he asked me again if I would give his fantasy a chance. Of course, I said no. But he insisted and got frustrated when I refused again. He blew up on me and asked why I was doing this to him when he's been doing everything right. To be honest, I got very scared and tried to go into the bathroom, but he grabbed me before I could and pinned me down. I couldn't do anything about it. I just lay there and cried. He said some awful things to me and made me say awful things too. I feel disgusting, and now I can barely stand to look at or think about myself. I've thrown up most of the food I've had since, and I'm having nightmares. We came back home today, and I've been in our room the entire time. He has been acting like nothing happened and thinks that I just came down with the flu or coronavirus. I wish I had listened to you all. You all were right, and now I don't know what to do. Third update 5 days later. I am feeling exhausted from everything happening currently, but I thought I would update everyone to let you all know that I am currently staying with a friend. To be honest, I've been depressed these last few days, and my nightmares have only increased. I haven't seen my husband in person since I left, but he won't stop calling and texting, begging me to come home. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I am grateful for all of the kind words and support. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. You have been essayed, manipulated, and gaslighted. Your husband is horrifically abusive. Please press criminal charges and take him for all he is worth, because he is pond scum and not a man. Ops response. I did try to talk to the police with my friend a couple of days ago, but the officer I spoke with said that it would be his word against mine because I have no proof. Fourth update 2 months 3 weeks later. I'm sorry for not updating you all on the situation in over 2 months. To be honest, I have been very, very depressed, and I haven't felt motivated to do much of anything recently. But I thought you all deserved to know how the situation stands. Unfortunately, I suffered a miscarriage on January 12th. I won't go into detail about it, but I had only known about it for 3 weeks when it happened, after I went to the doctor for testing like some of you suggested. I was at 10 weeks. My husband and I are back together. I've been back at the house full-time since the first week of January, after coming back for a few days over the holidays. He promised me that he would change and be better if I came home, and I felt guilty about not letting him prove himself, so I agreed. He hadn't known about the baby before I miscarried, and he was angry that I didn't tell him, so we got into an argument at the doctor's when he found out. My husband's mother talked to him about it after he told her what happened, and he apologized for screaming at me while I apologized for not telling him. Other than this incident, he's been supportive and gentle. We've both been making an effort to change and be better to each other, and we're currently in couples counseling together. I know that people wanted me to get a divorce, but I decided that trying to work things out with him was the best option for us. I have still been spending more time with my close friend, and she isn't really happy that I moved back in so soon, but our other friends are happy that we're giving it another try. I did end up telling a few of them about the fetish, and they were divided on it. Either they thought it was weird, or they didn't think it was worth the fuss I made. So I guess opinion about it is still divided. But I am also planning to get a part-time job soon. My best friend said that she'll help me get one. We haven't had sex or done anything of that nature since I've been back, for obvious reasons. And he hasn't talked about his fetish to me either. We did have a talk about what happened when he forced himself on me, and he said that he didn't know I was upset since he thought I was enjoying it because I didn't try to get up after he started. I guess I should have told him to get off or something, but I did cry a lot during our talk, and he said sorry and that he didn't know. I know this isn't the update some of you wanted, but I do feel supported and loved by my husband right now, and I want to just heal from this loss now along with him. I will update soon if I feel the motivation to. But if not, then I will probably come back in a month or two. Fifth update 1 year 8 months later. I'm sorry for not updating you all in almost 2 years, but I wanted to briefly update everyone and let you know that I am alive, safe, and no longer with my soon-to-be ex-husband. The circumstances are less than ideal for multiple reasons, but I'm safe, and I'll never go back to him. I will post a longer update sometime this week, but in the meantime, I'll be happy to talk with anyone about things if they are curious. I just wanted to say that I am grateful for all of the kind words and support that I received from you all. And to the people who sent me harmful and harassing messages, I'm glad to know that there are people in life more miserable than I was. Thank you, everyone. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I'm so glad that you are safe, and please know things will get better in the future. You made the right choice to protect yourself, and I hope you didn't have to deal with anything more extreme than what you've already disclosed before finally breaking away. Ops response. Thank you. To be honest, I did, but I am in a good place now. I still struggle, but I have to keep living. Editor's note. Ops' last post was made in November 2024. She has not updated since.